Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube crew. If you're watching the replay, what's up? Welcome in. I am here, and we are continuing on with what we started last week. I started this on Friday. Today is Sunday, and we are doing a color pencil test. We're doing the inexpensive versus the expensive. We're starting with the expensive side. We're using the Amazon Basic color pencils, and so far, you see the material. You see the material. It's giving what it needs to give. We were all shook last week, if I do say so myself. I was expecting them to be good, but this was more than I was expecting. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to see if it continues to give all the good vibes that we were getting when we started this on Friday. So I gotta get reacquainted because I don't know these colors like I know my Prismacolors. So I'm just gonna dive right in. How are you guys doing? Happy Sunday. Welcome in. So this color, I believe, was one of the base colors I used, and this is Burnt Ochre, and I'm using the Amazon Basic color pencils. So welcome in. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're excited. I am so ready to go to sleep tonight. You know, when you're just like, I'm ready. I'm ready to lay my head down. That's how I feel. But every time I come in here and I put my little ring light on, I get re-energized, okay? I'm reinvigorated. So I'm happy to be here with you guys and see what these color pencils are talking about. So I went in and dropped that first coat. I can't remember who's darker than who. So I'm just gonna, as I get to know the girls, just gonna layer one by one and see what's up. What's up? Hey guys, welcome in. I still am really enjoying coloring with these. Yes, I got my nails done last week, and they're eating. They are eating. Yes. It's kind of nice to not use marker from time to time. Usually when I need a marker break, I end up with crayons, and then I end up still using marker. But for this one, strictly color pencil, you all. Strict. I'm not playing. Okay. So I like how we got that kind of highlight going on in there. So definitely liking the versatility so far. Emerald is awake, y'all. Welcome in. Doing good. It's feeling good. But I'm not gonna lie. Midnight come around, I'm gonna be knocked out. Yes, Candy, I'm glad you approve. I'm glad I did your culture right. I was looking at a lot of different references. Yes, we're just doing color pencil tonight. We're giving these, we're gonna do expensive versus inexpensive on the left. No, inexpensive, this is the inexpensive side. This is the expensive side, color pencils. So right now we're starting with the Amazon Basics. I got these for $22. And I'm enjoying them. I am really enjoying them. So once I finish this side, I'll determine if they're worthy of going in my Amazon storefront. I don't want to get too excited now. I don't want to jump the gun. But from what I've seen so far, I'm really enjoying them. You gonna be asleep before midnight? Listen, I tell myself that too, and then I get to yapping. Next thing you know, somebody says, "What time is it?" And it's 1:30. I'm like, everybody go to bed right now, immediately. I have them in my car waiting to purchase. Yep, listen. I don't want to give the green light until I'm really for sure. But so far, it's looking like it could be a go. I do this thing where I just keep going over one section over and over and over again for a long time. So I'm going to try and be mindful of that. But at the same time, I'm detail oriented. But I don't wanna overwork areas. So I'm gonna try and be mindful of that as I go through this. It's looking good. It's 10:27 for me too, because I am in New York. You are not late. I've been on for less than 10 minutes. TikTok is my number one hater for no reason. Never did anything to her. Not even a policy violation. Like, you do all this for what? To me. I don't understand. We did find the remote. The remote was found on Saturday. But it was a very quiet morning until we did find it. He found it. It was in the dining room. Why? I don't know. Got my water and my BrewMate. It's feeling good. It was in the dining room. He found it while my husband and brother-in-law were at the gym. So he was very excited when he found it. But now my brother-in-law keeps the remote in his pocket with him whenever he leaves his room to ensure my son doesn't go in there and steal it and hide it again. So the saga continues. And done gave his uncle PTSD. I'm like, this is not okay. Also, guys, I got the Color Wow Supernatural spray that I was telling y'all about last week. And the silk press is pressed, okay? I know everyone didn't have the same results. I don't know if my hair is waterproof because I'm not going to use it and then steam my hair for 3 minutes to ruin all my work. I don't know how people are doing that. But I used it yesterday. My hair is very silky. It is moving. I can do that little swoop side to side. Lots of movement. I cut like 2 inches off my hair. I'm a brand new woman. So I'm very pleased with the product because my hair has been really frizzy when I put heat on it, no matter like what I've been doing. And this is the first time in a minute that my hair was not frizzy after the blow dry. Like, I could have worn my hair just blown out, but that flat iron really just took it to the next level. Okay. So, I did not like that sound. All right. Just rearranging my colored pencils so I can see what we're doing here. I don't really know what colors I want to incorporate. I was going to base it off of what I have like readily available in terms of color selection. I kind of want to do her hair blue. So maybe I'll do that. Let's do her eyes. This is the new book. This is her. She's here. I'm gonna give her purple eyes. I just feel like she would have lavender eyes. You know? I'm I'm so glad that we did pre-order for the coloring books because, child, the way y'all showed up, I was not prepared. I was not prepared. It would have sold out literally within the first hour if I had done how much I thought we were gonna sell. So I'm a little taken aback. Always grateful. Beyond grateful. Can't even articulate how grateful I am. And I'm glad that we'll be able to get a coloring book for everyone who wants one instead of me playing the guessing game, okay? So I'm happy about that. Alright. If she's gonna have blue hair, does she have blue brows? Ooh, stunning. Stunning. Stop the madness. This pigmentation? This is crazy, okay? This is crazy. The pre-order for the coloring club is supposed to close tomorrow. And then it will become regular, but I might extend it so that if there's any stragglers, we got some new members in the club this weekend. We can go ahead and make sure that there's enough for them as well. So, just going in with the lighter blue in these sections. The pigment goes crazy. These are Amazon Basics. 22 doll hairs. What? Wait a minute. Yeah, let me put y'all to the side because I liked the way y'all went on. That first color I put down is Kingfisher Blue. She is not playing with y'all. Kingfisher? Yeah. Me likey. So I'm going to use this. I'm kind of going to go over where there's already lines. And then leave gaps. And I'll go in with a lighter blue to fill those in. But I like that this is very pigmented. And I can get it to be a nice contrast with a lighter blue. Yeah, technique is a big part of it. It is. But that's the thing that I'm liking about these color pencils is that I'm not having to like whip out all the tips and the tricks. Like these feel very user friendly. Like you don't have to be someone who knows her way around a coloring book to make these look really nice. The pigment is there with little effort. And if you really want to show out with them, you can. So I'm liking that. So I don't know how to answer that question on how I did the skin like that. But the replay is gonna be on YouTube tomorrow. So I'll definitely check that out. Because, like, if I apply minimal pressure, minimal passes, like, you're still getting good color payoff. Like, they go kind of crazy. I don't know. I was trying to give myself a little distance, a little time to make sure I'm not just gassing myself up. But I don't know. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Yeah, my flowers usually, that's how they end up, not on purpose. I just don't draw flowers super realistically, so I've embraced that in my art style. And I've learned to like it. Before I used to be like, oh, I want it to look realistic, but it's not my ministry. Alright, I want to kind of see what some of these other blues, to see if there's another one that I might want to use. Oh, that's pretty. Because I like to leave that shine gap. And this is light blue, the color light blue. And I just created those segments of the hair to add a little definition. It will make the shine of the hair look even shinier. So, and then I'm going to go in with the lightest blue. Is the YouTube the same as the TikTok? What does that mean? No, I'm doing, this side will be inexpensive colored pencils. This side will be expensive colored pencils. So it's to test the materials. So it's intentional that I'm only doing one half. So this color is called Smyrna Blue. And I'm just really blending those colors through. I'm using a lot more pressure to get a nice blend here. Okay. It's looking good. Thank you for all the likes. I never really paid attention to all the little hearts on the screen. And then all of a sudden it caught my eye and I was like, oh, you guys be liking my lives. Thank y'all. There's so many things to pay attention to when you're on live. I'm like, I can't keep up. That goes crazy. For there not to be any marker in here, like the pigment, I don't know. This is making me excited. Who knew? Now the real test would be when I do this puff. These curls. This is what's gonna tell me what the real tea is, okay? I had to take a sip of my water because this is about to go down. I'm gonna start with the Kingfisher. I usually do light to dark. Yeah, I usually do light first. I'm getting all confused without my markers. All right, let's do light blue first when I'm doing the curls. And I'm gonna just do it like I normally do. Do my little moon shape. Create my tunnels. And I don't think I've ever done curls with just colored pencils. This will be interesting to see how I fill it all up. Just move you guys up a little bit so it's centered. These are the Amazon Basic color pencils. We're doing an experiment where we test inexpensive color pencils and put them up against my expensive color pencils. And we're gonna see what happens. Y'all, when I was closing the oven, there's like this little slot on my oven, and my pinky nail went right in it. And as I was closing it, like, and it didn't crack or anything, but she's tender. So when I'm coloring these curls right now, she's barking back. It was almost over for me. My life flashed before my eyes, because it really could have just took my whole, like, I was like, just take my pinky. If you're gonna do all this, just take the pinky. And that was enough for me. I'm like, see, that's why I don't cook, because this is dangerous. Risking my life for some salmon? That doesn't seem fair. I mean, mind you, was banging. I did a little spinach stuffed salmon fillets. Okay. I did my big one, but I almost lost my pinky. I don't think that was the right payoff. Child, Michael didn't even eat it. He's like, this is spicy. I'm like, the spiciest thing on this salmon is paprika, Michael. He was like, it's spicy. Okay, what do you want to eat? A hot dog. Okay, so I made spinach stuffed salmon and you want a hot dog. Okay. Because what I'm not going to do is argue with you. You want that? Go ahead. I'm going to saute it up in some olive oil. Hope you get some nutrients somewhere in there. But that's the best I could do for you. Right. Smelling all good. Everybody coming in the house. What you cooking? And he wants Hebrews National. Okay. Enjoy, Michael. Enjoy. Whatever you say. And mind you, again, almost lost my pinky for this meal. For you to say hot dog. Extra ketchup. No bun. Okay. You won't even eat the bun. Whatever, bro. I'm just blending these out a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with the darker color to get a little more. My mama would have made me eat it. I know. I try to not do that because then he like starts freaking out and tweaking, and someone who doesn't have a good relationship with food and just starting to get there, I don't want to push his boundaries and make him have issues with eating and knowing what he wants and when to stop and all that stuff. So I try not to do it to him too bad with that stuff. But I knew it was a long shot. I knew I was going a little too gourmet for that one. So I had options on the backup plan. The nail inspo was like geodes, like the inside of a crystal. That was the inspo. My camera never wants to focus up close. But I did post a TikTok of them. So thank you. So now I'm going back in with this is light blue. And I'm starting to add a little more definition. I'm using the same technique that I use when I do crayon curls, and I have a tutorial of that in my tutorial playlist on my page. I also posted a flip through of this book today, for anyone who hasn't seen it on the past live. You can go on and get a tour of the book. I'll also do it a couple times throughout this live. Don't you worry. I feel like this is going by faster. Are the coloring pencils faster? Interesting. But I do feel like I'm gripping the pencil more than I grip markers, because I don't have to press hard with markers, but I'm really trying to get that definition going right now. So you gotta use a little elbow grease, and I'm feeling that. The other side is gonna be done with different materials. So I'm gonna try and match the colors to the best of my ability, but they're gonna be with different brand. They're gonna be done with expensive color pencils versus these are the bargain color pencils. These are Amazon Basics. I got them for $22 during Prime Day. I don't know what their price is on a day-to-day basis, but I feel like they're fairly inexpensive. This is like a nice step up if you're over Crayolas, but you don't want to spend Prismacolor money. This is your in-between, I would say. No, I'm not going to do the other side felt tips. This is an experiment. I'm doing expensive versus inexpensive. So, now that we got that out the way, I'm very excited to see how the expensive color pencils can compare. Because I thought it was going to be real easy. But the expensive ones, they got to come in and get to work. This is not going to be a walk in the park, you know? So, we'll see what she brings. I think based off of how fast this is going, we might be able to get to the expensive side tonight. You know? Yeah, we did the face on Friday. So that will be up. The video is uploading onto YouTube right now, so it should be done by tomorrow. I posted part 1 of the Sanderson sisters just before I got live, so part 2 will be up tomorrow. Okay, that looks great. And then I'm gonna go in with Kingfisher. This is the darkest one that I'm using. And just add that extra layer of definition. Yeah, they definitely are creamy, and I'm very impressed with the texture because they're creamy, but they're not super soft. Like, they're just like the right texture. Like, they're not gonna crumble, but they don't require a lot to get that pigment. And it's allowing me to like really get a nice technique. Like, they're crispy. They're soft, but they're not smudgy or messy. I'm a fan. I will be using these on a regular basis for sure. For sure. The curls have sent me over the edge. I'm there. I'm there with you, Amazon. I gotta check out if they have any alcohol markers in this collection. Because I will be swipe. It's crazy because I wonder if my son will like get the reference of swiping a credit card. Because since he has gained consciousness, it's been insert or tap. I don't think he's ever seen me like swipe a credit card in his life. It's crazy. All right, I'm loving. Tap, tap. That's what the kids are gonna be saying. It's the swipe. He's not even gonna get what that means. Like, what we swiping? feel like I'm not like dead center. Usually people like tape this off. But me, I live on the edge, okay? I live on the edge. Okay, that looks really good. I'm tempted to go even one more shade darker. Or like more teal. Because I can just... I thought you meant swipe as in swiper from... No. Swiper, no swiping. I mean, it still kind of applies because I will be snatching those up. Similar to Swiper. This is like a nice blue-green. I don't know if it's making enough of a difference, but got to see it through. It's doing something. I see it. These studio lights get me. Yes. The expensive side will be the Caran d'Ache. Those are my most expensive color pencils that I own. And they better show up and be ready. They better show up and be ready. That's all I gotta say. Because Amazon came and said, don't ever in your life sleep on me. I don't care if I was $22. You see the material. It speaks for itself. Insane. I don't even know how I feel. I'm feeling all kinds of things. All right. I'm gonna do some of these leaves. Now me starting to feel a little headache coming. You better back up. Don't play with me. Okay, she's cute. I'm just getting my greens together. All right, okay. And this is the color Grass Green and Yellow Green by Amazon Basics. And then we'll see what this Emerald Green does. It's just a little shadowy ombre moment. I'm just gonna blendy blend. Okay, I'm liking that. Emerald green for emerald. Oops, oh no, this is the right one. I thought I was using the wrong color. Grass green, and then yellow green in the center. Then emerald green at the base. Looking good. And I'm just gonna continue to do that for all the leaves. It's giving. I like how these greens look very fresh and vibrant against the blue hair. Oops, went outside the lines. It's all good in the hood. My color pencils don't do all this. The color pencils will do exactly what you need them to do, okay? You just gotta practice it. They are just simply the tool. And then you have to make the tool do what it do. Listen, I started a page with Matte Photo Paper last week. No, 2 weeks ago now. And I had to restart it. Whatever they put on that paper to make it matte, it does not like to be colored. It doesn't like it. At all. Somebody in the coloring club was like, oh, what paper do you guys recommend to print on? I said, not this. Not this. That's all I can tell you. Quickly, don't do what I did. So, okay, definitely didn't ask what paper not to use, but thank you. I won't get that. I was traumatized. Had to start the whole joint over. Then you got everybody coming in the live like, I thought I'm in deja vu. I thought we already colored this. I'm like, listen, y'all. Change of events, okay? Just come in and sit down, okay? I don't want to talk about it. I use actual marker paper. So, Ohuhu has marker paper, and I've been using that. It's thinner, and so that's nice, so it doesn't jam up your printer, but it just absorbs marker a lot better. It controls the bleed. It doesn't have a coating on it. It's just better. Yeah, I would never put my stuff on a digital coloring platform, to be honest. Your markers come tomorrow? Yes. My TikTok has been hiding from you. I'm sorry. TikTok's my biggest hater. I don't know what I did to her, but she never wants me to be great. And still we rise. Amen. Okay. Coconuts do not come to play. They find me no matter what. All right. I'm liking. I'm trying to think what color I want to do her flowers. I want to do a mix of colors. I'm going to do a mix of different color flowers to make it look really vibrant and fun. So I'm just going around. This is Claret by Amazon Basics. And I'm just adding in the darker color so that I can put a lighter color on top of it. Bring in some of that purple from her eyes. Now everyone's coming in saying they didn't get their notifications. What a hating app this is. What did I ever do to you? App. Let's see what Carmine is giving. Let's see. Carmine's not eating for me. This is interesting. Let's see what you're doing. Yes, this side is all Amazon color pencils. They are not playing whatsoever. They are not playing with us at all. They said, just give me one shot. Just give me one shot. I'll show you what I can do. Stunning. I need to sharpen this a little bit. Oh no. I have the Coloring Club where you can get downloads. The link in my bio with all of the information. Yeah, this did crack. Look at that. It's like a wiggly tooth. I just want to pull it out so I can start fresh. You see, like, it doesn't even like snap. It's definitely kind of soft. I like it. It's not as crumbly. Yes, welcome to the club. Simply Diva. I'm just sharpening. This one is, I could tell, not in good shape in terms of the lead or whatever you call it. It's like very broken inside of the, like, I just sharpened it and it's like, can you even see? So we got one little problem child, and I already started using her, so I need her to get it together. And it's definitely not my sharper in this case because it's like the lead from within inside the wooden barrel is already cracked. Does that make sense? So, but we shall survive. 1 out of 72. Okay. It's not bad. Well, I haven't used all 72 yet, so I can't say that. But 1 out of however many I've used so far. Not terrible. Just going in and filling this in with this color, hot pink. I want this to be pretty colorful. So I'm going to be using a bunch of colors. So I want it to be, you know, tropical, fun, festive. I got all these Halloween songs stuck in my head. Oh, this is real bright. Lemon yellow. I'm gonna use really light pressure on that. The Coloring Club is a subscription where you get access to weekly digital downloads, a Discord where we get coloring feedback, community, Zoom calls, where we color together, feedback, all that good stuff. But a part of it is you get a weekly download every Friday. Also get discounts, early access, sneak peeks, all the fun stuff, you know. The texture, it's hard for me to say because I rarely ever color with just color pencils. So I don't know what the Prismacolor pencils by themselves on this paper look like, but this seems pretty comparable to a Prismacolor texture. Like maybe even like a little bit more, like maybe a little bit more grain, but nothing like super noticeable. Are we using the Discord yet? Yeah, we've been in the Discord. We've been in the Discord. We be in there every day. Your invitation says it expired. The one that I just sent on Friday says it's expired? Or the Friday before the last Fridays too? I just sent an invite on Friday and multiple people joined it. And there's also in the Coloring Club, there's a Discord blog post that has a link in it too. Neither your cat is mesmerized. Okay, so I'll try to go through the link on the Coco Michelle website, and if that one is not working, I'll go ahead and update that one. So going in, gonna do a blue one towards the middle because it's away from the hair, so it can stand out. And then fill it with this. Okay. My pinky nail really hurts. I'm sad. Why? Oh, I'm like a real pink color. This one feels like there's a bit of a coating on it, so I'm gonna have to sharpen this to release the color. Release the pigments. Alright. Kinda wanna add a little hint of the colors to the other ones. Make this more like peachy vibes. Add a little bit of the yellow to the other ones. This is what I like to do with crayons, and it just helps make it look more cohesive, more dimensional, more fun, and it just makes sense in my head. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, don't ask me to explain why I'm doing it. Just know that I did it because it made sense to me. You know? I feel like if you have a color that you're kind of using with all the other colors, it just makes it all look right. Like, oh, there's a little yellow in all of them. So now they go together real bad. You know what I'm saying? Bada bing, bada boom. I like Crayola crayons. I'm not super into Crayola colored pencils or markers. I'm gonna color the background one half at a time, inexpensive, but I'm gonna wait till I color both sides to see what color I want to do the background, if that makes sense. gonna scooch all over. Okay, so I'll update, or if you guys are having issues with the Discord link, just send an email to Andrea at shopcocomichelle.com so I can directly invite you guys. And send it from whatever email you are subscribed to the club from. And I will do that when I get off of here. Alright, see? Let's get back into it. Let's hit it again with the maroon. And make sure you spell Michelle with one L. I know sometimes that trips people up. I noticed some people have been calling me Andrea on here. I'm like, oh my God, y'all know me for real. Calling me by my government name. Y'all know me in real life at this point. I don't mind if you call me Andrea or Coco. I go by both in real life. My side of the family calls me Andrea because that's my name. My husband's side of the family calls me Coco because that's the nickname my husband came up for me. My friends, it's split. They call me all kinds of names. They beat me. Thank you. Yes, my name is Andrea, my God-given name. I'm named after my grandfather, who was Andrew Lee. I am Andrea Lee. Leigh. And that's all I've ever gone by until I met my husband in college, and he started calling me Coco. And then people started calling me Coco. The Michelle is for my son, who is Michael. Coco Michael didn't really have a ring to it, but my husband speaks French. That was his first language. So I was like, Coco Michelle. That has a ring to it. Okay. Yes, the color, the flower in the middle will be half and half. I'm trying to do it like half down her body, and it's not directly half of the page, which is why I'm not taping it off or anything. I'm just trying to eyeball it, you know? It's art, it's not science. So I'm using best judgment. Just throwing that lemon yellow in to kick up the vibrancy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Alright. This is like the size of the crowd that I like. Like right in that low 300s. Because we be vibing, okay? Vibes are immaculate. No one comes in here acting crazy. Energy is real cute. That's what we like to see. We like cute, low key. We don't want anything other than that. I'm not gonna spend time on it, but I'm happy you guys are here. Vibes are great. Thank you for the nail, love. It gets crazy at 4:12. Once it hits 4:13, I'm gonna be like, all right, good night. Good night. All right, I like how vibrant the flowers are. I think we'll be able to do some fun highlights and stuff. Am I allowed to use my Posca pen? Or is it just purely colored pencils? I mean, how serious am I taking this? Because that's one thing. This white may be the thing that tears it down, because this is literally clear. This is giving Ghost of Christmas Past. Okay? I don't know about you. And you got a heavy hitter. You got cream. You got cream in the Caran d'Ache set. So that's not a weak link you want to have. So I'll do the white at the end with the Posca on both sides. We'll let that be the exception. But that might be, I don't know, Amazon, that might be the thing that takes you out. Because y'all know that cream be getting me every time. I don't mean to be this way. I just am this way. Been this way. Oops. All right. You know, I love an ombre. I want like a real light blue. They don't have that. They have this lilac. What does this look like? Doesn't look right. So I'm gonna just go all the way in with this one. Not me coloring the eye and not shading. I didn't do my shadow. Have I gone mad? She looking all wide awake. And when I tell you I will grab any dark color, because this is, what is this, blue? I'm gonna shade it with that. Don't care. All right. Cute, real cute. I think I'm liking how the orange is looking with her skin. The white Prismacolor pencil is good. I like her. I think because these are so creamy, like the white just can't stand a chance. You know, the white just can't stand a chance. Whereas the Prismacolor, they're a little bit more, they have a harder lead, I would say, inside. I like how this pink showed up, so I'm gonna do it here too. The way I'm shaking this camera, whole body over here is shaking. This is so fun, oh my gosh. I'm really not giving any thought. I'm just picking up colors. I'm picking up colors. When it gets this 4 or 5, we need a safe word. I gotta think of a way to get them out. I gotta start talking about something crazy that'll make them be like, what? I'm out here. I gotta think about something that will scare away bad people. But there's nothing, these people, they have no limits. They have no limits. Why is that so cute? Answer me. How did this get so cute? I don't understand. This yellow is a little too bright. Let me do the other yellow. The lemon yellow is literally like a highlighter. It goes crazy. This is just regular yellow. feel like I gotta bring the color a little bit over. Like, just a little bit. Alright, going in with the burnt ochre. Every time I say ochre, they love naming the color ochre, okay? Because that's like the original, like when paint was not even paint, they were using like actual raw elements. Ochre was one of them that they use to crush and create paint. I always want to say okra, and I don't like okra, as in the vegetable. The thought of it makes me gag. So that's a little triggering. I asked my husband last week, okay? I was craving corn, just regular can of corn, okay? But I didn't want the one that comes in a can. I wanted the frozen one so I could steam it because I don't like the juice that comes in the can when you get corn. But I wanted corn and I wanted to like mix it up with my rice, okay? And I said all this, it was important. So he was like, okay, cool. I was like, get the frozen corn kernels. That's what I want. I'm gonna steam it and I'm gonna mix it with my rice. He goes to the store. What does he come back with? He's like, oh, I was gonna get you corn, but then I saw this. I'm already on edge. Because you were gonna get me corn, then you saw what? There's no right answer to that. The only right answer would be, I saw more corn. So whatever you're about to show me is wrong. He shows it to me, and it's mixed vegetables with corn, okra, and lima beans. I don't think this man has ever met me in his life. I don't know what happened. Lima beans? When I was 8 years old, my great-grandmother sat me down and had a plate of lima beans and rice. And I could not get up until I ate that. And I said, that's fine, because my dad will be here at some point. You can't keep me here forever. But I'm not eating those lima beans. It's still in my freezer right now. He unlocked so many bad memories in a flash. I saw everything. I said, you can't hold me here forever, Gigi. Like, why would you? Who likes lima beans? I would love to ask her now as a grown woman, like, Gigi, do you like lima beans? Or is this like a rite of passage? You trying to see if I'm woman enough? Like, what are we doing here? What's the goal? I don't know. May God rest her soul. But I still wouldn't eat those lima beans, okay? I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you. And my other Gigi would never. She used to give me rye bread with butter, and it was delicious with tomato sauce. And I would dip it, and it was good, and it made me happy, okay? And she used to make my grandma give me the TV. Even when her soaps was on, she would let me watch the TV, okay? That's love. Buttermilk? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. See, and that's why when my son said he wanted hot dogs, even though I made a delicious meal for him, I went ahead and I made the hot dogs. Because we all have a story. We all have a traumatic story that starts with somebody making them eat something nasty. And it's not right. It's not right. Because you wouldn't eat grits. See, I do like grits, but whatever it is that you don't like, it's just not right to make somebody eat it. Like, that is so crazy to me. You can't do that. You just can't. It's against the rules. I do love grits. I do love grits. But if you don't like grits, then you shouldn't have to eat them. I could see how someone wouldn't like grits. But if I see shrimp and grits on the menu, I'm going to get it. Every time. Every time. Could be 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll have the shrimp and grits. 11 p.m. I'll take the shrimp and grits. Thank you. Every time. Ooh, Brussels sprouts used to have me messed up, but now I love Brussels sprouts. But you gotta make them right. You gotta make them right. Like lima beans, I don't care what you do to them. If I know there's a lima bean there, it could be one lima bean mixed in with a bunch of things that I love. I'm not risking it. I'm not risking it. It's not worth it. Because the chill that a lima bean will put down my spine, it literally fuses with my spirit. Soul ties to a lima bean. I can't do it. Leave it alone. Y'all can have it. Y'all can have it. See, Jenna, I was just about to color it. I got my skin tone here. I got my pink for the heart. But now I'm not, Jenna. You see what you did for everybody? No. No double sorry. Don't say sorry to me, say sorry to the chat. Okay? The chin stays. All right. Yeah, I don't do the sugar grits. I'm sorry. And I know that people who do sugar grits go hard for it, so I'm not going to say it's nasty. I'm just going to say I don't get down like that. I don't. Hey, hey. Emerald. She said she just told y'all she not gonna eat the lima bean. Now you gonna tell her to color the chin? I want to know people who comment this, and this is an earnest question. This is not in bad faith, because I'm curious. When you're doing something, does it not bother y'all when someone comes and tells you like, can you do it this way or can you do it like in this order? And I'm genuinely asking. This is not, because maybe I got a character flaw that I need to look into, because I felt like that was a universal feeling. Because me, like, if I was about to do something and somebody comes like, would you just do this already? Any ounce of me that wanted to do that 3 seconds ago is gone. You know? She said the universe, or the earnest question in the music has her cracking up. But I'm being for real. If it triggers your anxiety, then you shouldn't be here. Like that's very extreme. If this is triggering your anxiety, like that's very serious. Like I do not want you to be here if it's triggering you for your own sake. That's like heavy stuff to say. You gotta cover the screen because it's triggering your anxiety. I want you to scroll. That's too much. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. That's crazy. These are my nails. You know? It might be before 412. Yeah, I think we are bald beauties in every book. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I just want to like make a quick PSA. If how I color, the order I color, if anything in the way that I execute the coloring of these coloring books induces a reaction that is negative, whatever that means to you, I want you to make the choice that is best for your mental health. But what you can't do is take your anxiety and transfer it to me. That's what we're not going to do. If that makes sense. So if you're feeling anxious about it, scroll. If you want to check back in and see if things have cleared up, that's your prerogative. But don't transfer it to me. Because I'm here, I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. Don't make me feel how you're feeling because you feel away. That's transferring of emotions. So I don't want anybody to feel any kind of way. Especially because I'm coloring in the coloring book. That's talk about spooky. That's very concerning for me that you will put yourself through. And it's very this is very optional to be here. Don't put yourself through it. And don't put me through it anything on your behalf. Thank you. I'm doing half the face as inexpensive color pencils, and the other half will be expensive. So that's why I'm doing the half and half. So eventually it will all be colored in. It's not going to be identical just because the colors are going to vary a bit from each side. But I'm going to try and color match it to my best of my ability. Yes, ordered the fall book. Thank you. This half is the inexpensive half. Can you believe it? These are the Amazon basics. And it was $22 for a set of 20 or 72. Goes crazy. I'm using, these are the two colors I use for the lips. Someone just asked me. That's what I use for that combo. All right. I know, right? This will look real good on my actual lips. Hello. My hand is getting a little tired. My hand is getting a little tired. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for this. Let me not even say, because then people going to start talking. I'm going to think about it quietly to myself. I'm starting to get like back into lip. Like I've been in like my cute little pink glossy era. But I'm starting to get into like, I want like a little vampy lip color for the fall and winter. You know, get back into my 2016 era. Because 2016 I had the little dry ass MAC lipsticks. Okay. And I'll give you a vampy lip on the daily. And a little, I had NARS Deborah. Okay, loved her in the fall. I loved a Ruby Woo red lip in the fall. Okay? I came for it every time. Ooh, yes. A vampy lip for a wedding. Ooh, I love that. Love. Let me give me little vampy lips. I'm gonna find something. Ooh, up the amp. Oh my gosh. I want like a brown, like a warm brown color. Like kind of like reddish undertones. That's what I'm in the market for. I've been seeing some. Ooh, look how cool it looks when I like do it like this. So you can only see half. Cute. Anyway. I would love. What was I about to say? I lost my whole train of thought because I got distracted by how cool that looked. My brain said next. Gotta be quicker than that. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. When I was in. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say before. The brain is braining tonight, ladies and gentlemen. When I was scrolling, I saw not one, not two, but 3 TikToks about OPI's Linkin Park something. Linkin Park in the Dark nail polish. And the girls are upset. I guess they changed the color. Because they're going to nail salons and the color's not the same. So if you guys like OPI Linkin Park in the Dark, I hope you got an old bottle of it because it looks like they changed it and it doesn't look the same. And the girls are upset. Okay? Hate to be the one to break the news if you guys are into that. But the story I was about to tell y'all. When I was 20, I want to say 20, I interned at Jill Stewart. She's a fashion designer. I think she went out of business in the US at this point. But she is the fashion designer that created the costumes for the movie Clueless. Okay? So, iconic. Not very nice. But besides the point, it was a very cool internship. And because you guys know I went to school for fashion design. So they gave us lunch money every day. Very humiliating process because you literally had to go into the accounts payable office and say, hi, I'm here for my lunch money. And they would give you an envelope and it would have literally $5 in it. Okay. So what are you going to get for lunch with $5 in New York City? Subway, obviously. So there was a Subway right around the corner and literally $5. And my husband would meet me on my lunch break. He was my boyfriend back then, but he was putting in that work, okay? He knew what he wanted, okay? So he would come meet me at Subway, and we would sit down and we would eat. But the first time I ever went in there, probably the first few times, okay? I'm from upstate New York. This is my first time living in the big city, okay? I'm getting used to a lot of things. I go there, and I'm like, hi, and they're like, what can I get for you? I'm like, I'll do the 6-inch sub. I'm like, what bread? And they're asking me at lightning speed, okay? And if you are like me, I was literally begging my parents to order my food for me at a restaurant until I was 17, okay? So this is already a lot for me, okay? I'm barely making my own doctor's appointments at this point, and you're rushing me, and I'm getting nervous. I would literally get like paralyzed, okay? I could not think. I could not order my food to the point where they would start taking the person behind me's order while I was still ordering. I couldn't believe what was happening. New York City, like you literally had to say your entire order at once. Like you don't go down the line like you know how you do at Subway. You say what bread you want. You say what meat and cheese you want. No. You say it all at once and then you shut your mouth. I'm literally like, yeah, don't go to Chipotle. Don't go to Chipotle in New York City. It is not for the faint of heart. I was getting run down at the grocery stores. I'm like, why are we running, fam? Why are we running in Whole Foods? Where are we going? Now I'll be at the grocery store about to run up on somebody's ankles because I've been conditioned, okay? Now I'm running through the grocery store like I got somewhere to be. Had to tell myself, slow down. Don't become like your abuser, okay? New York City didn't treat you right, girl. Yeah, be ready to hit them ankles with that cart. That's a KO. There's no coming back from that. Especially with accelerated force. You're done for. You're done. Physical therapy. Yeah. And it's so crazy because the office was in Times Square. So I'm just thinking about all the tourists who come from all around the world. There's so many people who come to New York where barely speaking English, okay? How are y'all talking to them? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ash. Like, it's not right. It's not right. And it changed me. Because now I'll be trying to order and they'll be like, oh, can you just give me 1 second? Sorry, just give me 1 second. And I'm like, oh, no, you take your time. It's me. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Because Starbucks, if these coloring videos give you anxiety, please do not go to Starbucks and order anything ever in New York City. You will be done for. I used to literally, my chest would be in a knot. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. And y'all know I'm not exactly the shyest person, okay? And it had me stuttering for days. But the taking the order of the person behind you is crazy. Because now you might as well have just said your mama. At that point, just say your mama so we can fight and move on. Don't start taking the guy's order behind me. And you know I'm only 5'1.5", so he could see clearly straight over my head. It's like I'm not even there. Let's not do this, fellas. Just get my 6-inch so I could go sit down. Okay? I only got $5 to my name. This is an unpaid internship. Don't do this. In Jill Story, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. $5 a day? There's only 3 interns. Y'all could have spared more than $15 a day for us. Okay? Y'all got it spared. Maybe not, because they definitely did go out of business. Maybe that $5 a day was what did them under, so I can't even talk. So let me take that back and express gratitude. Okay? Thank you for giving me your last. Only for me to get cussed out. Okay? That had me stressed. By the end of the internship, I could order a sub easy with the attitude of everything. Neck roll, eye roll, everything. It made me who I am. Good, bad, or indifferent, I don't know. Wait, what y'all talking about? Mother Goose, you got a funny story? $17? No. People really be doing the most. If I worked at Starbucks and somebody ordered a $17 drink, I'd be like, let me see your W-2s real quick. I need to see something because I feel like I need to interject. Just let me see your W-2s really quick. Because I think you are having a lapse in judgment right now, and I can't stand by and watch. I can't and I won't. Listen, Desi, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the other side. Okay. They said extra money for no ice. They did that? Listen, my husband gets light ice in his drinks, and they don't fill it up anymore. They give you the same amount of liquid. They just don't put more ice in it. Cup be half empty. So it's not like they filling that thing up to the brim. Y'all try it. They're like, light ice? Okay, here's an empty cup. Enjoy. That'll be $6. They're not with the tomfoolery. McDonald's, they really like, I don't know what happens to people when they start working for McDonald's, but like, is the barbecue sauce coming out of your check? Is the soda coming out of your wages? Why do y'all act like this? Why do y'all act like this? Why do I have to check to make sure there's sauce in the bag when I got nuggets? I'm gonna assume that the vast majority of people who order nuggets also want sauce. I'm gonna assume that. So why is it not automatic that y'all are like putting sauce in the bag? Why do I have to look to see that there's no sauce? Were you hoping I wasn't gonna notice? Are the sauces being rationed? Is there a shortage? Like, what's happening? And the way they're offended when you're like, oh, there's no sauce. What sauce did you want? The one I ordered when I was back there placing my order. It says it on the receipt what sauce I want. Why are you acting like I'm inconveniencing you? I told you what sauce I wanted. Now you're acting like I just brought this up last second. Don't do that. Matter of fact, you asked me what sauce I wanted 3 minutes ago. Did you forget? Ketchup, forget about it. They don't even know ketchup. They're like, who's that? Never even met ketchup. And the ketchup dispensers inside? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If they said, eat this lima bean or get ketchup from that dispenser inside of McDonald's, just take me out. I'm coming home, Jesus. I'm coming home. It's my time. Because why? It's time to go. It's like all crusty and no. I'm coming to join you. Because why would you do that? Exactly. You're mad because you forgot my sauce and I brought it up to you. Okay. And like, they could never get me that worked up, but I'm not surprised when I see people ready to drag them out the window. Cause you catch somebody on the right day, I just know it could happen. Not me. I'm not violent. But I'm just saying, everybody's going through stuff, okay? Don't be the reason why. Don't be the reason why. I say, you know what? I got time today. I got time. I will. Yeah, I'm glad you did that, Madam K. Because somebody got to do it. Not all heroes wear capes. But y'all got to clean that ketchup dispenser. Please. Please. Because it still has the ketchup from my ancestors around the pump. I can't do that. I can't. That ketchup dispenser's seen more things than I ever will. She said ketchup's nasty anyway. I never liked ketchup until I got pregnant, and then I started liking ketchup. I don't know what that's about. Like, I craved ketchup when I was pregnant, and now I like it. But I wouldn't get ketchup like from a fast food place. But like if I'm eating at home, I put a little ketchup on the side, do a little dip. You know? Yeah, everybody is going through. What song was I listening to? Lean Back. Ah, yes, the profound Fat Joe once said, he doesn't care what you're going through. He's from the Bronx. Ish happens. And I was like, you know what, Fat Joe, you're right. Okay? Everyone's going through something. You're right. I can't expect anyone to have any level of tender love and care with me because I'm going through something, because so are they. So are they. So we just all gotta treat each other kindly. That's the answer. Treat everyone with kindness. Not 8 mayo packets. Oh no. No, not the mayo packets. Which I'm also like, how come mayo packets don't have to be refrigerated? What kind of mayo is this? I just have so many questions. I feel like we also have to be mindful of one thing I can't stand. And I have people in my life who do this, and I love them just the same. But you can't compare what you're going through against what other people are going through and rank it, right? Like, well, my situation is worse than yours, so you should be more empathetic towards me, because reality is all about perspective. And if this is the worst thing I got going on in my life, even with celebrities, when they come on and they're talking about their stuff and they're like, oh my God, this is so hard and life is so hard, blah, blah, blah. To them, that is a hardship. As silly as it sounds, that's the hardest thing they're experiencing, and therefore it's difficult for them. And we just have to be mindful of, like, everyone's not in the same circumstance. Some people are going through some real crazy stuff as we speak, and it's like no big deal to them, because that's just what it is. And other people, could be something real simple to you, but it has their whole life flipped upside down. That's just how it goes. Exactly, the struggle Olympics. It's like, what are we even really talking about right now? You want to be struggling so bad, like, I'm just telling you what I'm going through. It's not a competition, babe. It's not a competition. Like, you can have the struggle. I'm trying to get out of this. I'm not trying to struggle more than you. I'm trying to get to the other side, fam. But it's tough out here. She said, you already done finished my snack. You have to be up at 5:30. Oh, PSA. Tuesday, I have to go to the city early in the morning. I'm coming back that same day, but I won't be back until after 11. So I'm not going to go live Tuesday, but I will be live Wednesday. And the live tomorrow is going to have to be earlier because I have to get up early the next day. So I can't be on here fooling around. I'm getting nice little golden effects. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for noting that. Tomorrow, let's say 9 o'clock. Let's say 9 o'clock. I'm giving myself the side eye, like, okay, girl, whatever you say. But no, for real. We gotta. Like, the way that this actually looks gold with these colored pencils, like, I was able to do my little tricks. And once I use the white marker, it's gonna be really giving. The Discord notifications are the safest bet, okay? Even if I forget, somebody gonna sound the alarm, okay? They gonna get the troops in order, and they gonna show up. Cute McGooks. This is so cute. All right. Well, thank you, Mariah. She looking real cute. I'm enjoying. I think I'm gonna do her shirt the same colors that I did her lips, like alternating. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna do the darker edges and then lighter inside. So just like what we used to do back in the day, in the 90s, that's how I'm gonna hit it with on here. But I'm gonna just make it a little bit more blended. Sorry, it's kind of down low, but I'll make my way over. I'm just blending it out. These, listen, y'all, my verdict is in. These color pencils are going in the storefront. Amazon Basics color pencils have Coco's official stamp of approval. Okay? It's official. I really like how this looks. I'm into it. There's nothing wrong with coloring like this because you know what? It's pretty. Sometimes you just gotta do what's pretty. If it ain't broke, don't what? Fix it. Period. It just looks good. I don't know why. It just does. Yeah, it does have like a velvety look to it. Now, with the Caran d'Ache, I would be tempted to throw a little cream in the middle of there. I'm just saying. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break out the clear colored pencil. It ain't white, it's clear. And see if I at least can get a little blend with it. Okay, it's doing a little... It's doing something. It's not. Maybe it's a blender. It's not a blender. It literally says white, but it melted that right in. All right. So I might have a job for you. We'll see. Keep up the good work. Clear. I'll be in the shower singing these spooky tunes. Okay. It's stuck in my head. Is anyone else in my family artistically inclined? In my blood family? No. In my extended family, my husband's family, my brother-in-law is an oil painter. Actually, my mom said that my grandfather, both of my grandparents on my mom's side passed before I was born, so I didn't have the honor of meeting them. But my mom said that my grandfather liked to paint, the one that I'm named after. He liked to paint. So maybe I got a little something, something. But my mom is like wicked with interior design. So I got a lot of creativity and inspiration from watching her just decorate our house and like watching how she thought about color and layout and design. She didn't know that she was like literally an interior decorator, like legitimately. But it influenced me a lot. But in terms of like picking up a pencil, I think she can draw a cat, she said. Did you learn how to color like this on your own or were you taught? I just started coloring like this as an adult, so I just kind of learned over the past year different techniques. But I'm an artist. I make these coloring books, so I just feel like there's like an obvious advantage to being an artist. So when it came time to color, it was very natural to me. So it's kind of like when they have like cheerleaders go on Dancing with the Stars, and I'm kind of like, I don't think that's fair. I don't have cable because we literally don't watch it, but whenever I go to my parents' house, my mom be watching Dancing with the Stars. I'm like JoJo Siwa. What the hell? She's literally a dancer. How is this fair? How is that fair? And she's up against like a linebacker who has 2 left feet. I'm like, huh? I feel like the rules are not ruling right now. I'll be like, nah, put me on the next season because y'all tried it. Y'all tried it. She's been dancing since she was 9 months old. What are you doing? If somebody was like, hey, we're doing an amateur coloring competition on Bravo, do you want to be contestant? That's not fair, y'all. I'll be a judge. But why would you do that? And then you're going to have Susie from accounting up against me who's been coloring full time, professionally. It's not right. I feel like it doesn't level the playing field because it's transferable. Like, even though I'm not a great painter, if it were up to me to go against somebody else who's not an artist, I would have an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's a completely different ball game, different muscles, I have knowledge of how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? I have an advantage. And it wouldn't be fair. But if there's a cash prize, I would do it and I would destroy everybody. Okay? I'm just putting that out there. We gotta fund these new coloring book projects, okay? I will be right there. Zero questions asked. You said 50 G's? Where do I sign? Thank you. I'll be there tomorrow. Make sure you got the Amazon Basic Coloring Pencils ready. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity and for considering me. I'm very excited. Should I start a coloring competition show? And then I can be the judge. No, I don't even want to be the judge. I want to be the host. Judging's too much pressure. I just want to show up in the fits and talk to you and encourage everybody. And then come back the next episode. I don't want pressure. How do you even start a TV show? This is my problem. So I'm just casually like, should I start a TV show? And then I'm gonna hyperfixate on it. I could tell my husband he likes to hyperfixate on things. I'll be like, babe, can you look into starting a competition TV show? A coloring with Coco competition, you know? I want to watch The Masked Singer. I always tell myself, I'm like, I'm going to watch The Masked Singer. Sorry, I need to add some of this pink in here. I'm adding some of the light pink into the dark one. Just to fill in some of those white spots. It's driving me crazy. I would love to. My husband is literally my go-to person. And I'm his go-to person. Like, we are a great team. Because everywhere I have weakness, he just so happens to be the bomb at, and vice versa. And I love that for us. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Sometimes we look at each other and it's like, it's crazy. Like, we really still like each other. Isn't that weird? Oh my God. 15 years in, I'm like, wait a minute. Do you still like me? Of course, I have to ask him because I'm a Leo. I just need him to say it out loud. I know it, but I just want him to tell me. If you could just tell me how much you love and adore me, that would be great. That would make me feel a lot better. He's like, I literally do everything for you. I live my life for you. I'm like, no, I know that. I just want you to say it. Don't make this hard. Don't make this harder than it has to be. Just tell me. Thank you. Would you still love me or won't? Yeah, I do that. I do. The other thing I do that he is like, you have to stop. If we're watching a movie and a man does something that's like so whack, bogus, disrespectful, whatever, I look at him, I'm like, if you ever, he's like, stop. If you ever did something like that to me, it would be over for you. He's like, why am I catching strays? This is a TV show. Like, why am I in trouble? I'm like, I'm just putting it out there. I just want you to know. Okay, don't get too comfortable. He does not like that. He does not like that. He's like, what have I ever done to make you think I would do that? It's not that I think you would. But if you did, he's like, stop. Just stop. It brings me joy. He has this way where he sneak disses me. He'll send me a reel because he's not on TikTok. He's a real guy, which that's his beige flag. But anyway, he'll send me a reel and be like, this reminded me of you. And it's like a monkey with like a bag over its head running away from the rain. I'm like, why did that remind you of me? He's like, I just thought you would think it's funny. I'm like, no, I feel like you're trying to tell me something. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean? He's like, I'm not trying to tell you anything. I just thought you would think it was funny. No, I feel like you're saying something to me, and I want you to just say it with your chest at this point. Just say it. My husband does not like to color at all, and he has awful handwriting. Stop going off the page. His handwriting, you could just tell he wasn't beat for his handwriting, you know? Like, I feel like our parents, they used to literally get their ass beat at school about their handwriting, you know? Like, it was something that could end their education career if they had bad handwriting. And with each generation, it's just getting worse and worse. His handwriting is, my dad's handwriting is perfection. Perfection. And he writes in all caps. I feel like that's a very dad thing. I feel like a lot of us have that experience, but he can also write really nicely in cursive. But even like my son, who's 6, I'm like, I feel like by the time I was 6, my handwriting was in a better place than this. But my 17-year-old, my stepdaughter, her handwriting, I had better handwriting in 4th grade. I don't know if that's genetic. Or it's just for the fact that they've been typing since they were in kindergarten, you know? Like, they never had to handwrite a 10-page essay, double-spaced. They didn't have to do that. The handwriting is... It's not what it used to be, folks. At all. Handwriting to me, I think, is important. So I'm going to try and get my son together. Because I feel like that's going to get him a good wife. I don't understand it. It doesn't have to make sense. I just feel like he needs to have that life skill. My husband's lucky that I was able to overlook his chicken scratch. Okay? I feel like having nice handwriting as a man will be a flex in his future, and I want him to have that in his back pocket. Okay? He has to get that together. And I feel like it helps with art, being artistic. It's all connected. Same part of the brain. I'm just thinking about, like, were resumes a thing once they had typewriters? They weren't doing resumes before typewriters. Typewriters are old as shit. Were they? Handwriting a resume is crazy. I hope they didn't have to do that. I'm not trying to get Michael married off by any means. I want him to take his time. I got married very young. My parents got married very young. My in-laws got married very young. And it just so happened to work out for us. But I've seen plenty of other situations where that was not the case. So he can take his sweet little time. But when he's ready, he gonna have that good handwriting in his back pocket when he professes his love to her in a handwritten note with a boombox outside her window in the rain. Okay, that 90s love. I'm gonna teach him the old school ways. These young ones, these young bloods, they ain't gonna know what to do. They're gonna be in love and they're not gonna know. They're like, what is it about him? His mama told him, put him on game. Okay? He's gonna be an excellent husband. If he wants to be a husband. I'm not gonna force it on him. I do not give a damn. I do not put any expectations on that stuff, because that's how you screw yourself up as a parent. You start putting expectations on a child who you gave birth to them. You wanted a child, but that does not mean they're indebted to you. That does not mean they have to live the way that you want them to live. Don't set yourself up like that because you're going to play yourself every time. Would I like him to get married? Absolutely. Is that my business? No. But if he so chooses that, I want him to have the tools and the game and the swag. Okay. And then I'm going to leave the background for when we're done because I don't know what color I want to do yet. This one was so fun. I like that I was pretty carefree while I was doing it, not thinking too hard about it. Keeping it light, keeping it bright. And this half is done. Well, done for now until we do the background color. Or should I just do the background color and stop being a punk? I'm trying to figure out if I'm actually strategically waiting to do the background or if I'm being a punk, you know? I already know I'm being a punk. Hate that for me, but let's see. I'm gonna pick, I know I want it to be light. I don't want it to be anything that's gonna hurt me to do. Even though somebody said a dark background would make a pop, and that's not a lie. But then I'm gonna have to use a lot of pressure. It would make it pop. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. But do I have, because the thing about colored pencils are, they only get so dark. They don't get like super duper dark. This Prussian blue is pretty dark. It will kind of be like a midnighty vibe. That's kind of cool. These purples are not that dark. I'm doing only colored pencils for a test on inexpensive versus expensive, so I would love to throw a marker in right now, but I can't. All right, I'm gonna do this dark blue. This dark Prussian blue. It's the darkest blue I got. Oh, a lot of people are saying midnight blue, blue black, so we're all on the same page. Okay, great. Oh, this is hurting my finger right here. You guys know I have a dent in my bone right here from coloring. Like, I don't know if you guys can, you're not gonna see it. There's a dent right here. Can you see how that just went in? Ain't that crazy? Katie, y'all know Katie, my nail tech. She was telling me that 2 of her fingers from filing nails, the fingerprint is gone. I'm like, girl, what? She filed her fingerprint off, and her sisters did too. Crazy. Yeah, and I only have it on my right hand. So I was like, yeah, I know that's definitely from coloring and drawing in general. Usually most people would have it on their middle finger because you're supposed to hold it like this. And I do 2 fingers on it because I like to choke it and I like to have control. And 1 finger ain't enough. I need 2. I'm scared. Let's get into it. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm just gonna take my time so I don't have to press super hard. Yeah, the correct way to write is like this. And by correct, I mean that's the way they teach you. Obviously, I don't subscribe to that. But this is, I had to actually stay after school in third grade because Miss Keenan told me I was not going to get anywhere in life holding my pencil like this. She didn't say that, but she was concerned. Look at me now, Miss Keenan. Okay? Should have minded your business. I'm sure there was other things to worry about. Back in my early stages, I used to do color pencils at the background. Like back. Good night. No, she didn't say that. Like, I was like, let me correct that real quick in case the people don't realize that was a little jokey joke. She did not say that. She was weird though. I had another teacher. What was her name? My 5th grade teacher, Miss Redlin. Which, like, crazy last name, but I'm not gonna judge. She was wild. I know she said some stuff that she shouldn't have said. I just can't think of it right now. You know, when you're young, it's like people say stuff to you all the time and it doesn't hit you for like 12 years. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, what did she say? People say crazy things to kids all the time. I remember I was like, something unlocked this memory I had about when I was at my friend's house when I was in elementary school. You guys know I lived in Maine for part of elementary school. And I was the first Black person a lot of people saw. And I went to this girl's house. Her mom worked at Domino's, so she brought home pizza and wings. And I was over there eating. And her mom was just looking at me. And I'm looking back at her like, hello? I was like, yes. She's like, no, I've heard you guys eat chicken like that, but I've never seen it before. You guys? You guys who? What do you mean by that? Eat chicken like what? But me in 3rd grade, like, it's not clicking. I'm like, huh? She's like, no, just, you're fine. Like, went way over my head. 20 years later, I'm sitting here like, wait. What you mean by that, you guys? Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Eat chicken like what? Like, don't leave meat on there? That's pretty universal, okay? I know a lot of people from a lot of different races that don't leave half the meat on the bone. Okay, I don't know why y'all are eating like that. Maybe because this is Domino's chicken, which is barely chicken to begin with. Why is it this texture? Let's talk about that. Whack. She would have really had a problem if I went home and told my mama that. She lucky I didn't realize that was shade. She's lucky. We had a tomato, we riding that down. Listen, her daughter's name is Allie. Okay, I don't remember the last name. But I know where I lived. And I know she lived right down the street. Okay, I could pop up. Ring that doorbell. Domino's. But it's like me as an adult with a child. Like, and she was like in her 40s too. Like, she wasn't no young blood. She was grown. She was very much grown, and I could never look a child in the eye and say something wild like that. Like, are y'all okay? Even the fact that she was thinking it and really staring at me while I was trying to enjoy this whack meal. Trying to be polite. Okay? What's the extra piece on chicken wing? That little tail part? This is a safe space. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, eat all the chicken. Eat it all. That'll be the extra crispy part, okay? I'll be nibbling on that. You are not alone. That'll probably be extra crunchy. Because if I'm eating chicken, I'm eating chicken, okay? Ain't nobody got time to be thinking about if somebody don't want to eat all of it. Girl, eat it how you want to eat it. And listen, if it's extra good, yeah, I'm going to be sucking on the bone too. Okay? Don't play with me. I remember one time we went to Sophie's, which is in New York City. It's like a Cuban. I don't even know what to call it. It's a Cuban spot, and they have oxtails on Thursdays. And we would go, like a few people from the office, we would go to Sophie's and get us some oxtails and some rice and beans. We would do our thing. And I was in the kitchen and I was just eating my oxtails. And oxtails, that's a very intimate experience to eat. Okay, you eat oxtails amongst close friends or in the privacy of your own home. I was in the office eating oxtails. And my friend was just looking at me like, girl, I know you are not eating those oxtails like that in this office. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy my food, okay? I don't have time for corporate politics. These oxtails are doing what they need to do. And I'm not going to let my oxtails get cold waiting to go home for me to do what I need to do, okay? Tell them they wish they could experience what I'm experiencing right now. Let them stare. Let them stare, because they have no clue. And I tore them up and they were delicious. It takes me each coloring book seems to take me longer than the last because I'm doing, more than I am usually than the last time. So this one took me weeks to make. So it all depends. Now I want some oxtail. Nowhere good to get oxtails up yonder, up where I am. But I will be in the city on Tuesday. But where I'm gonna be at, there's no spots over there. I could sneak away and get some before I get on the train, maybe. Or maybe my sister-in-law could bring me some. I'm gonna tell her to meet me at the train with some. Be like, go to Caribbean Star. Oh, give me. Yeah, I'm gonna tell her to do that. Weeks are not bad. It's not bad, but it feels agonizing because every time I come on, you guys are so excited and I feel like I'm taking too long. And on top of that, this was not on the roadmap, okay? The fall coloring book was not on the roadmap. Y'all were like, oh, are we getting the fall coloring book? And I got asked so many times, I was like, damn, this is like important to them. So let me rearrange some things. So it felt like it was taking a long time. But we made it do what it do. And now I'm putting all the pressure on myself for these calendars because as soon as this came out, y'all were like, thank you, but where's the calendar? I'm like, please, y'all, please. I'm trying. This blue is hella pigmented. It is hella pigmented. And I'm not pressing that hard. I'm just going over it like a few different times. And I'm using circular motions so that there's not any kind of patches. I'm going to sharpen it a little bit now. It's getting a little dully dull. We stay back. But the thing is that you guys are so patient. It's not like from a pushy place. Cause y'all know if I feel any kind of pushiness, then I'll disappear. Y'all don't come at me like that, and I appreciate that. It's always eagerness, it's excitement, it's supportive. So that's why I put that pressure on myself, because I wanna show up and I wanna deliver for y'all, even though I know y'all will wait. I could have came out with this fall book on December 30th, and y'all would have been like, yes. But I want to make it make sense, and I want to push through for y'all. So appreciate it. This blue is like everything. A digital planner. Listen, I like digital planning too, but I feel like you're gonna like the physical one. I tried to do a collab with Xenia Digital Planner, and we were in negotiations and everything, and then never heard from them. And I was at a place where it's like, I can't chase y'all down. If y'all don't got the budget, say that. Period. Period. I feel like a digital planner, like, and also, you know who I was talking to? Vistaprint. Vistaprint had come out with Vista Create, and they were doing something like they wanted me to come out with a collection of like over 100 digital stickers. And I was like, okay, cool. I told them I wanted it to be Black self-care themed. They were into it, and the girl I was talking to left the company, and no one ever picked the project back up. And I was like, you guys suck. I really want to, like, if I had time. I literally don't have time. I'm so, like, busy is not even the word. Busy ain't even the word. But I would love to come out with gifts to put in, like, for when you do Instagram stories and stuff. I want to do a collection of them for Black History Month. But what made you decide to take coloring like deep? What do you mean by that? Ooh, pastel fountain pens. Ooh. I would love to put stickers on Good Notes. Do I get paid for that? I know, that's what I was saying, Ash. That's why I was like, I feel like Instagram needs my help. Okay? I would love to put it on there. But then I always get scared. Because oh, Gigi, this is my job. That's why. That's why I do it so deep, because I make the coloring books, and this is how I make my living. So it's not really a hobby. But I do take it more seriously out of a personal obsession with creating things to the best of my ability. I can't really half-ass things. A blessing and a curse. So I think I go a little harder than the average. Even other artists, I see that color and stuff like that. Because, y'all, I think I sparked a movement. Okay? And not to go full Leo mode, but I feel like the coconut community has shifted something in the art community, especially in the Black art community, where everyone's coming out with a coloring book. Everyone has affirmation coloring books. Everybody's coloring on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know. I don't know. I've been observant. Okay, so I'm into it. As many people as we could get coloring, I'm into it. But I always want to be one step ahead. You feel me? Always one step ahead. That's why sometimes I kind of gotta go on stealth mode, because people are watching. People are always watching. And trying to find the quick come up. But what I want to make sure is other artists who are coming up behind me with similar products or similar content, whatever you may be referring to, make sure the quality doesn't suffer because you're trying to keep up with somebody else. That's where I see people make their biggest mistake, is that they're trying to be faster or cheaper or whatever than the next person, and the quality suffers, and then you lose the trust of your community before you even get started. So I don't mind opening the door for anybody, but don't kill your momentum before you even get started, because if you're trying to do what Coco Michelle does and then they get your coloring book and it's not the same quality but you're charging more or what have you, like, you're not gonna build that community that you're looking for. So take your time. Don't try and come out the gate and catch up with me, because I've been here. I didn't come out the gate going this fast, so just be mindful. You should do yours a dark gray background. See how it comes out. I would love to see it. I'm not a gray girly. Yeah, the affirmations I've seen. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that I also do my Monday mantra. And the amount of people I've seen start doing the screenshot for your mantra, for your reminder, and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. I see everything. All of it, all the time. Because you know what happens? People send it to me. And they're like, I thought this was you. No, it's not. But it's fine. It's fine. I can't spend it. That kind of stuff used to have me spiraling, though. I used to be spiraling. I would see people and be like, what? Like, they took my whole personality. And they're getting more attention than me. And then, there's something about, like, you starting something and you're, like, really hype about it and you're not really getting any attention, but you're doing it because it feels right and, you know, you started it and it feels good. And then somebody comes along and does the same thing and, like, everyone thinks it's their idea because they got more views than you. And it just, you feel so defeated. And I've had that feeling so many times. And I just kept pushing through. I didn't let it stop me. I didn't let it change how I felt about what I was doing. And I always come out on top. And eventually I just stopped worrying about what other people were doing. Doesn't mean I stopped watching. But it doesn't influence me. It doesn't make me... Because what happens is people, especially people who are trying to be innovative, they come up with an idea and then other people start hopping on that train, and then out of spite they're like, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next, and they rush themselves out of a phase that they weren't ready to move out of, just out of spite of what everyone else was doing, and you miss your own opportunities. So what I've learned throughout this whole artpreneur experience is I can't be fazed by what anyone else is doing, good or bad. I can't be fazed by praise or compliments or insults or critiques. I have to move in a way that is unfazed by outside influence. Not to say that I'm not taking into consideration what other people are saying, but if I'm motivated only by when people are on my side and loving it and wanting it, that means that when that fades, which everything always does, everything comes in waves, I won't have what I need inside of me to continue on. And that's a problem. So I can't get too wrapped up in what other people think, because then that will start being the thing that motivates me. You bought somebody else's coloring books and the shipping was high and it's slow. Oh Lord. Lord. Ain't nothing faded over here. I know I got my core coconuts where I'm like, okay, we go together real bad. So y'all can't go anywhere. Y'all can't. But I'm talking about the masses. But it's just a very interesting learning curve you have to go through being on the internet in general. But one thing about me, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. Thank y'all. Yes, these are Amazon basics. We're doing a little coloring test. We got a little snippet left. I literally built Coco Michelle brick by brick. Me and my neon. This journey has been crazy. Every milestone, we had to fight so hard for every single thing. And I saw people who were doing literally 1/4 of what I was doing. No effort, no energy, no love, no nothing. You could tell. And getting twice as far in half the time. Had me messed up. My spirit was messed up. Constant comparison. And that, literally, that's what really, had me look myself in the eye and be like, okay, what's important to you? Because you're focused on everybody else but yourself. What's important to you right now? And you can get them in the link in my bio. And me watching other people's progress, watching other people's pockets. And usually, that was coming from a place I was struggling, right? I was struggling financially. I was literally going broke trying to fill Macy's orders, trying to fill customer direct orders, trying to, take care of my kid. My husband had quit his job to help support the growth of Coco Michelle. We were in a bad place. And I was so consumed by these people where it's how is this person who doesn't care about the art, who doesn't care about their followers, who only shows up when it's sponsored, who puts in half-ass effort, why are they in all the designer stuff and they have the cars and they have the lifestyle, and I'm sitting here eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and trying to figure out how I'm gonna pay for my son's daycare? How is that right? And I was never gonna get out of that situation watching them. I needed to get to work. And I couldn't keep working from a place of desperation. There was times where I started to change my art style. There was times when I started to change what I thought my target demographic was. Like, I literally was changing who I was internally because I was trying to align with who these people are. And the moment I let that go and said, okay, I'm done playing these games. I don't care what anybody else has. I don't care about the algorithm. I don't care about any of it. I'm going to post what I feel like posting. If people rock with it, they rock with it. If they don't, they don't. I don't want anyone in my community who doesn't like what I want to do anyway. Like, what would be the point of me attracting an audience wearing somebody else's personality? What is that going to do for me? Now I got to be this other person for the rest of my career? That doesn't make any sense. And I let it all go. And everything fell into place. Everything fell into place. Quickly, expeditiously. It was crazy. It took me losing that Disney deal. That was it. I was like, I can't do this. I'm not dependent on anybody else. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me. And that's what I did. Next thing you know, Coco Michelle was a multi-six-figure business. And I was doing what I wanted to do the way I wanted to do it, talking the way I wanted to talk, making the art that I wanted to make. Period. So that's my word. You gotta be you. Even if you don't know who you are yet, you gotta take that journey. That's it. Gotta put me first. Let's do some white highlights because this is looking real scrumptious. It's interesting that my page is curling. I wonder what's making it do that, because usually that happens when I'm using wet mediums. Probably the tension. I probably am stretching the paper. The paper probably got stretched from all that pressure. Interesting. I'll add to the pressure. I'm glad we're on the same page. So my theory has been confirmed. So now I'm just going to use my Posca pen and add my little highlights. Disney was doing a campaign for Black History Month in 2021. Could that be right? Was it that long ago? Sorry, I'm like thinking hard about this. 2022. It was last year. I had to put the puzzle pieces in the right spot. They were doing a campaign for Black History Month. And I got through the negotiations. They gave me the assignment. They gave me the whole brief, they call it, like a project brief. I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was starting the sketching process, and then I got an email that basically said, we decided to go in another direction with this project. And I was crushed. I was like, okay, whatever. They're going in another direction. And then I was talking to my friend who's also an artist, and she was saying how she got this Disney deal for Black History Month campaign, and the rate that she got paid was 3 times what they were going to pay me. 3 times. And she said she had negotiated it because that's what they had paid her during COVID, when Black Lives Matter happened. And then they tried to come to her with the rate that they gave me. And she was like, no, I've worked with you before and you paid me this much. And they said, okay. And basically, I think that them taking her on ate up the budget for other artists, and I got dropped, basically. Of course, I couldn't see it for that in that moment. I saw it as, I'm not good enough, my art style sucks, they prefer her over me, X, Y, and Z. Tore me apart. And first of all, I was sitting there feeling stupid because I'm like, wow, I sat here and was like happy to take this amount, which was below what I would ever accept anyway. But it was Disney, and I was trying to get it on my resume because it opens up a lot of opportunities. Like, it's one of those opportunities that pays the gift that keeps on giving. You get Disney on your resume as an artist, it does things for you. But I was like really upset about it. I have like I think I did a whole YouTube video about dealing with rejection where I talked about it like literally the same week that it happened. And it, like, I was tore up. I was crying. I was crying my little eyes out. My husband was, obviously sad for me. And I just felt so worthless, for real. But a lot of things were born out of that. Monday mantras were born out of that. My art style completely changed after that. You can like see it on my Instagram if you scroll back. Like, my art used to look very different. That very hurtful experience birthed a lot of creativity in me. So, hindsight, I'm like, yay, heartbreak. But in that moment, it was not giving yay anything. It was giving boo hoo. You ain't worth nothing. Your art sucks. Give it up. Hang it up. Go get a real job and cut it out. So, luckily, got to the other side of that because that was not a happy time. But I literally took it and went straight to the art. Like, I felt my way, and within the week, I was back in the lab. Redid my website. Like, so much happened. Like, that was like a burst of energy from within. So, thanks, Disney. And now, I've been approached by them twice since then, and they can't pay my rate. So, that for the low situation is over with. I don't care who you are. I know my worth now, and it's all your fault, Disney. It's all your fault. You awoke something inside me. So, happy that it happened that way. Anytime I go through something rough, I just remember, well, this must be a part of a bigger narrative that God hasn't shown me all of it yet, but He will. And this will all make sense. And I'll look back at it fondly. Like, okay, I see what you were doing there. I see it. So, it worked out perfectly. And it always does. You just got to see it through, my boy. Gots to see it through. Stunning. I know so many times we think God is taking things away from us, but He's like, if you don't let me remove this so you can get something even bigger, always in my way. Damn. Like, sorry. This is stunning. Yes, I've been an illustrator professionally since 2018, full-time since 2020. This is the Amazon Basics. This is the inexpensive. This is $22. Okay. I'll put my, how should I do it? Oh, Lord. Butterfingers. You know how I like to do my little, I'm going to do it like this. I'm trying to do my little ending scene. I kind of want to tape it down. Do I have tape in here? Y'all know my art room is a mess, okay? And when I say my art room, I mean my closet. I don't know if I brought tape up here. That's fine. I'm trying to think. I'm going to film that last scene later. Are y'all going to be mad if I post half of it with the inexpensive side and then post a separate TikTok for the expensive side? Because, you know, people don't like two-parters. But I feel like I'm going to post this. We'll see. Thank you so much, Julia. Yeah, right? Maximum exposure. I know that's right. Yeah, because this is it. Because $22, this is really like, I don't know. Maybe the game done changed, but Karen Dash, you're up next. You're up next. Karen Dash, this is that set. This is the brand, because I know whenever people say this brand, I'm always like, I don't know what you're saying. This is the brand. You can see my phone is right here. Hello. This is what we're going to do for the expensive side. I don't have all of them in here right now, but stunning. They're going to put up a fight. They're going to put up a fight. Okay? But Amazon Basics, y'all did your big one. Y'all did it. So now, yes, she is from Switzerland. She's a Swiss bae. Okay. So let's do a flip through. Yep, that was just the green. She's coming in. She has more colors than the Amazon Basics, but I'm going to try and stick to comparable colors so that it's not a unfair battle. So now, let's do a little flippity flip through. We love a flip through. All right, Color on Cocoa Volume 5. Comfortable in my skin, cozy with who I am. I love myself, goddamn cozy. Yes, just order them all. Thank you so much. We love a cocoa collector. There's so many of them. This one, I'm gonna convince Katie. I'll be like, Katie, come on. The people want it. Wow. It looks cool like this. I low-key think Amazon Basics might win. Because here's the thing. Cheaper materials tend to be like a little more vibrant, which it's easier to make vibrant colors than it is to make like muted, more realistic tones. So the vibrancy in this context, I think, is going to give it an advantage. This side might look more realistic, but this side might look just better in general. That's my suspicion. So we will see. I'm excited to do these plaids, but I'm also scared to do these plaids, but we're going to see what it do. We're going to see what it do. Lots of pumpkins to get into. There's a cat in this book. That's unusual for me. Got some sweater texture. Lots of sunflowers. We got the sisters. Little peekaboo turtleneck vibes. And then the piece de resistance. Thumbnails. Give it a little test color. See what palette you're leaning towards. You don't have to commit to the actual. You can do a little test run, okay? This is for all of you who have any kind of commitment issues. Why go to therapy when you could use thumbnail sketches, okay? That's my motto, and I'm doing great. And then we still gave you a little space for swatches, okay? So this was super fun. I'm glad we finished that half. It's not super duper late, so we can still get to bed, wake up rejuvenated. And I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 p.m. I will set up a reminder for the Discord, and I will give you updates if I'm running late. Y'all know how that goes, okay? Mr. Michael, let's hope he participates with the bedtime stuff. So, good night, everybody. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.